welcome back to the Rock Your Comeback podcast. I'm your host, Nichole Eaton, and it's been a while since we've seen each other. I took a little time off and it's been a busy season of my life, and that felt the right thing to do. And I have Christy Forsyth here because this is your June glow up. We are going to help you glow up internally, externally, so that you can be the best version of yourself. So I'm happy you're back.
I'm happy to be back too. We love you guys and we want to bring all the glow into your life.
All the extra glow. And like, speaking of glow, like we've been glowing. Like we talk about this work, but you have to understand that like we also really do this work. This is something that Christy and I are very like intentional about practicing what we preach and knowing the things that work so that we can bring them to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important, right? Because otherwise, we don't know what we're talking about, right? If we're not out here trying these things, playing with these things. And we have been definitely playing with these things, trying some stuff out, doing some things differently so that we can see what different types of magic it brings into our lives.
One of the things that Chrissy and I built our entire business off of was our intuition and manifesting. If I had to tell you, that was probably our exclusive business plan outside of dance parties and like chocolate eclairs and a really great couch. That was sort of where we started. And it, like us going in different directions, me moving, we've been kind of caught in this thing of like doing things separately, and that works. But also there's so much power in having somebody else to share the work you're doing with, to share your intentions with, to share your manifestations with. And we've kind of got back into a flow of doing things how we used to do them in a bigger, different way. And we're watching absolute freaking magic happen in our worlds.
It's incredible. And to like recognize where we've come from, right? So a little background with this started because both of us were feeling incredibly stuck. In fact, like I had this day where my energy tanked, my mindset tanked, and I was talking to Nichole and I said, for the first time in so long, I'm thinking about quitting. And I just was so frustrated. And through that process, she was like, first of all, you're not quitting. I'm not going to let you quit, which was what I needed to hear. And I don't think I truly intended on it, but I was so frustrated. But in the process of that, we decided that we needed to start approaching things in a different way and that we are really powerful together. And so we started to just incorporate some different stuff into our days every day to start to change it up and start to move the energy, because we have to get the energy moving to create a momentum.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that we talk about a lot. And I even talked about I just did a 49-second pitch for an event in Charlotte, and that was really wild and scary, but fun. And one of the things I talked about was how I was a mental health counselor with massive depression. And it wasn't until I started incorporating energy and intuition that my life really changed. It's not that those principles are wrong or don't matter. They do, they have a massive basis. But when we are stuck in our own energy or energetic bullshit, it's incredibly hard to think your way into different results. And so that's where energy really comes into play, is we get to learn how energy works, learn how we're producing energy, and learn the energy around us and how it's impacting us. And one of the things that Christy and I did to start this off was like, we're going in, we're going to clear out your energy. We're going to clear out all of the energy around us, between us, everything. And so we spent like a good hour and a half and then kind of continued that over a couple days span so that we could really clear out her energy, my energy, all this old stuff that was being, stuck to us or whatever the case might be. And from there, we created a new foundation to build on and a new practice to play with. So clearing out the energy is one of the most important parts of like getting unstuck. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. They think it's like just a choice or just a way of thinking differently. And those things are absolutely true and matter. But energy can play such a massive role in stuckness that if you can get a hold of that and clear it out and manage it and understand it, then you can do something different.
I think that people can understand this concept too. Like, okay, I know that I need to clear my energy. I know that I need to release some things, but how do I do that? And I think that this is one of those things that we tend to overthink all the time, because in my opinion, it's very simple, especially if you let yourself tune in with yourself, if you let yourself listen to your intuition and you let that guide you. I would say that with energy, symbolism and visualization and or feeling, or however we want to experience things, but a lot of times symbolism is the language of the universe. It's also the language of energy. And so when we can imagine the types of things that we might see in the energy field, the types of things that might be present, or the areas of the body where we might be feeling blockages and the emotions that we might feel connected with, if we kind of just like follow those senses and the things that we're sensing within the energy field, and ask ourselves then, what is it that I need to do to clear this? That was really what Nichole and I did. We would sense things and we would say, okay, this is what I'm seeing. And then we ask questions. Okay, what do we need to do in order to release this? And then we would let that intuitive response to that come in and support us in clearing that. It was like such a powerful clearing, the two of us working on that together and just kind of flowing with each other and asking those questions and visualizing those things. And when we would get the answers, we would then visualize what it is that we needed to do in order to clear it out. And there isn't a right or wrong with this stuff. It's really just like trusting what comes through and what we feel called to do.
100%. And I think that can be hard when you feel like your intuition is, I actually just got done with a session. This is what is making me think of this, but she was feeling like her intuition is rapidly, rapidly growing, and everybody around her is not intuitive. And so she feels really isolated and alone and a little bit crazy, because when you start following your intuition and you start really hearing that, it can feel that way of like, okay, I just need to visualize, an angel, or I need to visualize this. And like, that will help lift some of this energy. And so it can be very simple and easy, but sometimes we battle within ourselves first on, is this even my intuition? And so one of the things Christy and I love to teach is, how do you really hear your intuition? How do you know for sure that your intuition is speaking to you? How do you know it's really good energy that's coming through and speaking to you? How do you differentiate your energy from other people's? And so we're actually really excited to announce that we have another retreat coming up. It is a quantum glow up retreat called Unlock Your Magic. And in this retreat, we're going to teach you exactly how to, and we're going to do a little bit for you of energy clearing. So if you're feeling really stuck or hopeless, or you feel like you haven't really made a lot of progress in your business, like something's going on there, or in your love life, something's going on there, or you feel blocked in some way, we're going to take you through an entire day of releasing old energy, stagnant energy, anything that makes you feel stuck or that is blocking you from receiving the things that you're really wanting. So that's how we're going to start.
Yeah, and we're going to teach you how to connect to your own intuition, right? How do you separate that voice that feels like fear and connect with that voice that is your intuition, that is your inner knowing, that is the GPS for your best life? Once you learn how to connect with your intuition, you're good, you're golden. You can navigate the rest of your life as long as you stay in that and you continue to trust it and honor it. It's going to show you everything that you need to see, and it's going to show you every next step that you need to take along your journey. So it's such a powerful tool that people are going to leave there with, and it helps you with literally everything in your life.
Absolutely. And we're excited to give you all those tools that we have spent the last decade cultivating, making sure that we understand them from all angles, answering your questions, and helping to give you the tools to really know, this is my intuition, this is my next step. And on top of that, once we get this energy clear, that makes you a conduit for your desires. That makes you clear about your desires. That makes you allow yourself to hear your intuition more clearly, but also to manifest the things you want. One of the things Christy and I have been doing like freaking wildfire is manifesting things instantaneously. Instantaneously. I used to see this a lot. and I forget how quick. Not to say that my manifestations haven't still come through, but I just can't even believe the speed at which they're coming through. So there is something to be said about clearing this energy out, being really solid in your intuition so that you can manifest a life that you're super excited about, manifest the business connections, manifest the clients, manifest your finding your person, manifest all of these things that you're really wanting. And I, of course, will preach for this all day. I love to manifest how I feel about myself. That's something that is non-negotiable in my manifestation game. I like to feel really confident, really sure, really articulate. And actually I was in a meeting this morning where somebody messaged me after and was like, I just admire how confident and articulate you are. And I'm like,
But that's
I
the thing, like, we've been doing these manifestations together, and both of us have had these experiences, like, many, many times at this point, and it hasn't even been that long since we've been trying it this way, that people have reflected back to us, word for word, what we have said and what we have written. It's wild. It's so fucking magical to me. Can I say fuck here? I think
Oh
I
yeah,
can.
of course.
Okay.
My space. We can say fuck. Yeah, that's the cool thing about manifestations is like when it's your manifestation, it's like it just hits different when it's the intention that you set and it's literally verbatim getting thrown back at you. I remember one time I was doing a podcast and I had written like three things that I really wanted to relay and how I wanted to do it. And I got done with the podcast and the guy was like, Nichole, like I just have to tell you. And he goes through and lists these things exactly verbatim as I wrote them before this podcast back to me. And I was like, I manifested that. I literally said to him because we had talked about manifesting the whole time. And I was like, I manifested that. I intended that. That is how I wanted to be perceived and looked at. And you're relaying that back to me. And that's not mind control. This is just the energy you're putting out to the universe is what people are picking up, what opportunities, what situations. It's all coming mirrored back at you in certain ways. And so the other thing about this is like, Christy and I are doing this manifestation together. Have I been manifesting on my own for a long time? Yeah. Does it still work? Yes. But there's power in numbers. There's power in other people holding space for your intentions. There's power in healing together. There's power in energy clearing together. And most of the people who were at the last retreat will attest to that is there is something absolute freaking wild about a group of people holding an intention for each other and how that shows up in their own healing.
Yeah, I mean, part of what we decided, so when we were both feeling that sense of stuckness, we decided really that we had to come back to the beginning. And part of the beginning for us was in manifesting together. We used to sit when we started our work together and sit and write these intentions together and read them out loud and envision holding the energy and sending it up. And we would do all of those things. And so we decided that now we needed to do this together and that we would do the same thing. And I knew that it was powerful. I knew that it worked, but the level at which and the rate at which things are happening is so incredible and helping me to come back. I mean, I'm such a big person to talk about the magic that exists in this world, and I'm very connected to that, and I love it. But it's like I see even more magic in the world now, and I just feel so supported in the world now. It's been this big turnaround. And I think a huge piece of that is like we are magnifying the energy for each other through doing that together. And I recommend people who have friends who like to manifest and things like that. I recommend that you find like a manifestation partner, even to just share these things with. You want to make sure it's somebody who's going to truly hold the energy for you, that you really trust with that. But there's power in numbers. And so what we experienced when we did our last Quantum Glow Up retreat was that with this group of people, we were all doing that for one another. And this time there's going to be even more of a focus on co-creation, manifestation. And so I expect that what we are building is that much more powerful, right? We're seeing instant manifestation. There was something that I said this morning to Nichole. It was like actually me complaining a little bit. I was like, well, like, how do I create that specific thing? Because something had happened for her. I said, how do I do that? And within 15 minutes of me just putting that out there to the world, like asking that question, it happened twice since I was putting that out. So it's just like crazy over the course of, a couple of hours that manifested. Amazing.
100%. And here's what I love about what you did differently is you said, how do I? And I think that asking the question, not of like, I'm not, or I can't, or why isn't this happening for me, but really posing the question to the universe, to your higher self, to your inner self, how do I? And that's like a common concept in a lot of like money manifestation too. Like if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's not, oh, I can't have that. It's like, how do I get it? How do I? And so I think how do I is such an underrated language twist that we can intentionally use to open up to receive what we want, to open up to ask our brain and our universe to respond. But I think that that is such a beautiful way to invite knowledge in to our intuition as well. So it's beautiful because all of these little things that we can do to open up ourselves and change our minds and be in a space where we can put ourselves in a higher energy, a better space to receive, can come with making tiny shifts. So like we're talking about this retreat and we're gonna overhaul. Like we are getting rid of the stuff that you don't need anymore and we're overhauling. But you can start if you're like wanting to start today of like, how do I create more magic in my life? Like what a beautiful intention. Like, how do I do that? How am I opening to that? Another thing I like to do, that you and I have never done, but I really enjoy is, a while ago with my friends, I realized that we were all kind of getting together and we were just complaining about everything. And like when we would get together, which wasn't very often, it was just like, oh, like this has been really challenging, or this is going, unfortunate wrong, or this, right? And so I said, okay, so we're going to at least do one delusion dinner and one delusion call a week. And what this is going to look like is we're going to all get together and give each other like slips of paper with these manifestations. And we're going to prompt each other to talk about them as though they are already the case and we're just really successful with it. So it's been really fun to play and to bring more manifestation back into conversations that are intentionally built for that, of like, oh yeah, I get to talk about this New York Times bestseller that I wrote, and like, oh my God, I can't believe I can't, and you have a bunch of people like, oh my God, this is amazing. And you have so much energy. I was sharing a excerpt with Christy of a book I'm reading, and it's a little witchy. So she was talking about it in terms of spells, and she was like, well, when witches do spell circles, it's supposed to be the most powerful thing to break a curse is having everybody do it at once, like everybody be part of this at once. And so us sharing our manifestations back and forth are one of those ways to do it. Now, don't share your manifestations with people who don't believe in you, aren't cheering you on. We exclusively keep our manifestations for the people who believe in us, are our champions for our future, and want things for us, not people who hold secret resentment or are going to negate the energy of what you're telling. And you'll know those people who have those like subtle feelings of like, oh, I can't, I don't want to, or I've got some resentment or jealousy or whatever. You'll know. So definitely play around with different ways to incorporate people in. But if you're looking for a really clear way, come to the retreat because it's going to be magic. And I'm going to be talking about it forever and a day because our last one was just so transformational. Like you can actually go on the website. I'll put it in the show notes. And there's a video of the last one, and just the way people speak about it, like it was just so transformational. And we had set that intention, but even Christy and I, when we got done, we were like, holy crap, like what did we create? This is amazing. people are really radically changing, shifting, looking different even in front of our eyes. They look more like them. They look more lit up. They look like the life has come back into their eyes. And it was so incredible to watch.
I mean, we did these post interviews on the other side of the retreat, and I cried my way through the entire thing because I was so proud of people, but I also just felt so fulfilled to watch this vision that I had had for it, what I had manifested, come to life, and not only come to life, but be 10 times better than I had actually expected, right? And bigger than the vision. And it was just so incredible. And I can't wait to do it again. I'm so excited because I know that this changes people's lives. It transforms them inside and in their outside world so amazingly.
100%. I'm just excited to see the mass transformation and the quantum glow. Like when we talk about quantum glow up, what we're really saying is the ability to shift your reality instantly. So it doesn't take a timetable to go from point A to point B. It's like you've done something internally and now you're at point B. That is a quantum glow up. That is a massive shift within yourself where you can go from having these thoughts and feelings and energy and just being someplace brand new where you know possibilities are for you, where you're getting and receiving opportunities, where you can say, hey, how do I do this? And then it happens 5 minutes later. Even the text messages that were coming through from family and friends while we were there, like from like for our people, were all like all this stuff that was positively happening at home. And that's the cool thing, is that when you change, you positively impact everybody around you. So it is worth the investment, not just for you, but even if you have a family or spouse, like this is worth the investment to help clear out any energy blocks or heart walls or things that you are keeping you from being the most you, because your most best self is dictating your relationships, your experiences, your success. Like it all matters. So we're talking about this in terms of personal growth, but like this unlocks love, this unlocks money, this unlocks all the things to opening your business portal. Like this unlocks the things that you want.
The reality is that we are all so magical and that we are powerful co-creators here in this world. Not enough people understand that. And even we've been studying this for a long time, and I feel like I'm always learning new ways to be magical and new ways to create things. And I'm excited to share that with people because I think this changes the world. Like you're saying, it changes the world even by extension. We have so many people who connect with us who are like helpers, and it's hard for them to take the time for themselves to do the work and to connect with the magic and to do all the things because they're so busy taking care of everybody else. But what I think so many people fail to understand is that as you work on that healing yourself, as you fill your cup, as you learn how to create a life that you're excited about, you're showing up in a different energy for other people, and people are going to receive that, and that's going to impact their life. It might inspire them. It might change the dynamic between you guys for the better. There's so many different ways that by extension that just like ripples out, and it's like it just goes out so many layers out into this person, into the next, to the next. I would say take some light and pass it on, right? This is how we light up the world. We share the magic.
I'm getting lost in your hologram. I just keep disappearing for a
That's
minute,
magic.
snapping back into it.
Integrating magic into this podcast. I have this backdrop that was created by this man, Keith Allen Kay, and it's just like running in the background of my Zoom with the intention that it is working on people's energy fields, that is providing healing and clearing, and all of the intentions that he built into it, because this specific one behind me is the energy of divine love, and we all need that. So there's so much magic, and I love to incorporate the magic into everything, and it's definitely going to be integrated into the retreat.
And we've been asked recently, are you guys ever going to do sessions together again? And if you were at our last retreat, you know that we were exclusively offering that only for people who have come to our retreats. But Chrissy and I have decided to open that up to do some, not they're going to be hard to get. But one of the things that we do really well is complement each other in the work that we do and how we do it, which is why we've worked together for so long. So this will be an opportunity to have a glow up session with Christy and I together. It will be a session with both of us. So you get two intuitives, two counselors, all the advice, all the perspective, and they're going to be life changing.
Yeah, so we will have in the show notes, we will have the link, the calendar link for people to be able to reserve their spot if there are any left, but we will have those up and really excited. We love to just spend time together and to create together. And so it's going to be, if you've never done something with the two of us together, it's like just next level.
Yeah,
And
like
so
we're
like,
on
I can't wait to get back into that. Yeah.
we're on our own, but like it's like extra. Like we're really trying to our goal is to shortcut your healing. We don't want it to take forever and you don't want it to take forever. And if we have the tools to help you feel empowered, clear your energy out and get you started on like your best track, that's exactly what we'll be doing. And so again, you can get a glow up session. It's in the show notes. You can get access to a retreat. And if you're in the Orlando area, even better because you can pop in and pop out. You do not have to stay in the house unless you want to. There is an attendance only option. I have to say, I think it's beneficial to live in the house for the weekend because I think that that's where connections and community are made and designed. And I think that, you know, we do all the meals except for first night out, and you don't have to come to that if you don't want to, but we really give space for you to have the experiences and connections that you want to make as well. And I think that's healing in and of itself.
And we're talking about doing things together. And I think that that's a huge, powerful part of this retreat too. It's just the community that it creates. And we still have a group text from our last retreat. Everyone felt so connected. And that was a huge part of my intention for the event, was that people were going to find their tribe. People were going to find those people to have these kind of conversations with, because it helps to have these kinds of conversations. It helps to have people to be in this energy with you. So if you don't have that in your life right now, you will be leaving the retreat with that, so that you have these people who can lift your energy up and hold those intentions with you.
Yeah, it's powerful and we can't wait to share it with you because we've been on a manifestation kick. We're watching these things come in so fast. Even my daughter, she manifested herself onto this competitive show choir, super competitive show choir, elite, very intense. And then because she's been speaking about it all year, like this is, well, I can't do that this date because that's usually when the choirleaders do this or the, you know, the show choir does that. And so we were at like the introduction night and they did raffle tickets and they're giving away t-shirts and bags and whatever. And we look at her raffle ticket and she reads off the numbers. She goes, "That's my shirt, I guess." And I go, "Sure is." And like 4 seconds later, they just list off her number and she wins this t-shirt. And we were just laughing too hard to even like claim it because we were just like, that was really funny. Because the universe is really cute sometimes. Like that's how manifestation feels when it's easy. It's like, that's funny because I was literally just thinking about that and here it is. Or I was just talking about that and here it is. It's almost like how Facebook like takes all your data and information and gives you the ads. That's how the universe is. It's like, oh, you were thinking about this and talking about this and energetically producing that. Well, here it is.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is that life doesn't have to be so hard and so heavy. You know, certainly here on earth, there are a lot of experiences that we have available to us that can be pretty terrible, right? But the beautiful thing is that we also have things that are available to us that create ease, that create happiness and peace and joy, and just these fun little moments like you're talking about. Those are so much fun. I love the little moments every single day, those things that just light you up. This morning I got up and I came down the stairs, and the way that the sun was shining through the window, like I honestly, I almost cried. Like I was just so moved. But like this is me and this is who I am and this is how I like to live is like to just be so struck by these moments all the time that we are creating, and like as we create a momentum that are being created for us too. Like it's like magic lends itself to more magic, and we just get to create our very own heaven on earth. So it's just fun.
I think learning manifestation and feeling your energy shift is the most empowering feeling ever, because once you realize, oh, all these things that felt stuck are no longer stuck. They're in my control and I get to choose something new, and I feel empowered enough to do it. And I know the direction because I'm listening to my inner guidance. Like all of this is adding up. So if this speaks to you, which we know it will, we know the right people will hear us talk about this and be like, that is exactly what I need. Make sure you get registered. There is a payment plan option so that you don't have money coming out right away. Like you have an opportunity to pay that off in increments. But we're excited. We're excited to share another opportunity to help you grow and transform and to make long lasting, massive changes that fast, that quick, that fun and easy. We talk about this stuff and I was like, we make it sound so heavy. And sometimes it can feel that way, but it's also fun and it's exciting and it's easy. And when you're like, oh, I can play with the universe, I can manifest this, I can like start deciding things and they happen. I can start putting that good intention out and feeling it come back. Like that's fun as hell. Like I would rather live an intuitive, fun, manifested life than just go on autopilot for the rest of my life, you know? Like feeling creative in my energy is so much better than reacting and responding to everything. Reminding myself, I actually had an incident right before we came on this podcast, and I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with that because something occurred and it was out of my control. And I'm like, well, okay, we're going to just let the universe figure that out. And we're going to put out good energy while we talk. And I guarantee you within the next couple hours, I'll have a resolve on that that's in my favor.
Yeah.
And that's the cool part about manifesting is that I don't have to control everything. I don't have to get worked up about everything. I get to observe it, experience it, decide something new, and let it go.
Yeah, and you're talking about the playfulness of it too, right? Let it be light and fun, and connect with that child within you that just believes in the magic in the world. And like as you start to connect with that more and more, you start to feel more playful. It starts to feel like more of an adventure than a hardship. And you just get to flow around and navigate this beautiful adventure that is life. So it all works together. Which, speaking of, did we talk about the dates of the retreat? I don't know if we did.
Good.
I'm
We
not
should
sure. Maybe we
definitely
should
discuss
mention
that.
that. So they're going to be it's going to be October 4th through the 7th, and it's going to be in Orlando, Florida.
Yep, and you can kick off with us on Friday night, the 4th. So we do kind of a group intention setting and a dinner out. And if you want to come early, we have a bunch of special offers. So if you want to get a session with us that day, there's ways to get into the house early. So definitely do that. There's access to human design charts and astrology charts. So there's a bunch of things that you can kind of customize your experience to make it special for you and your growth. But we're excited. We're excited. We're going to have the best time, and the people who come are going to have some massive transformations, and we can't wait to watch.
It's funny, like when you said you were excited, somebody honked their horn like a few times in the background. I don't know if you could hear that.
No, I didn't.
So somebody was out there like just supporting our celebration. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be so good and life changing for people. I can't wait to share it with people again. Like I just can't wait to get back there.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. So join us October 4th through the 7th. Book a glow up session with Christy and I. We will have limited space and opportunity to do that, but it'll change your life. So all that we feel really confident about what we bring to the table and what we have to offer, combined 40 plus years of experience between mental health and intuition, combining the two, working with all sorts of different kinds of people and situations. So yeah, we're ready to help you become the best version of yourself, the version that you feel like your favorite version of yourself, where you just feel good and happy to be alive. And that's our goal.
Do something today, guys, to begin to create your life intentionally. this energy right now is very supportive of creation, very supportive of manifestation. It always is, but I feel like sometimes it's extra magical, and I feel like it's extra magical right now. So get out there, test it out, play with it, and see where it gets you.
100%. And that's the idea, play, try some of those tools that we talked about, find a buddy, have a delusion dinner with your friends, like clear some of that energy out. All of those things will add up, and we're here to guide you and support you along the way. So make sure to like and subscribe to this podcast. And word on the street is it's the top 5% rating.
I don't know.
Way. It's a top 5% podcast. So we're celebrating that this week too, is that we've been putting out content for a long time, and it's exciting and apparently reaching y'all. So and make sure to check out mine and Christy's memberships. I'll drop those in the links. We're excited for you. We're excited to play with you. Check out all the show notes for all the things. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Okay. All right. We will catch you later.